I want to spend a little time sharing with you the meditation for this week. The summer is a season of festivals, and there's a lot of spiritual festivals happening. And I used to always wonder, why do they have this kind of gatherings? Why do they spend so much money? Why do people show up and all kinds of things? And as a kid, always wondering about all these things, but wasn't really given a full answer, but was told, just do it. And I think it was before Nike or maybe after Nike. So I don't know where they got that slogan from. It was just do it. Just go to these festivals. So these festivals are a very unique uh, events that happen. And so the word festival in Sanskrit language is called utsav. You want to say what it sounds like? Utsav. Utsav. So this word utsav, it's actually two words. Ut, the word ut, what is it in Dutch? Is there a meaning in Dutch, the word ut? No? Okay.
No idea.
The word ut
That
means,
for you?
the word ut means up.
Wow.
So I thought it sounds pretty cool because it's ut, up, same, sounds pretty similar. Or to elevate. And the word sav means to flow. So you elevate and you flow. So that's what utsav means. It's this beautiful motion of elevating upwards. That's what utsav means. So how does that work? How does this utsavs work? That you start floating and you start elevating. Not levitating, but elevating. Similar, a little different. So utsav is like a sacred interruption. One of the terminologies the sages use, that these sacred interruptions are very much refreshing in the lives for those of us who are somewhat stuck in the world of material engagement on various levels. So whenever this, can you all hear that? Someone's alarm's going off. So utsav means the spiritual occasions where it interrupts your material rhythm. So it gives you an opportunity to pause and you get to reflect. Many times we don't get a chance to reflect. We're just always go, 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 go. And we don't really get a time to pause. So when we pause and reflect on life, then what happens, because the spiritual reflection, because it's a sacred interruption, what happens is there's sacred doors that start to open up in our lives. And you may be wondering, what are sacred doors? We discuss this in our classes, in our discussions, that the sacred space is within your heart, and there are many, many doors and chambers to that heart. And sometimes in our lives, the more we are hurt, then the doors start to close. And then the more pain comes, the more doors close. So the doors keep closing. And eventually, we get so stuck outside that we forget how to go back into the heart. So this is what happens. So these festivals, These utsavs are ways or days that help to open these sacred doors. And what happens when these doors open? There is a sacred divine relationship that happens with yourself and the divine and higher beings. And that is something that is very, very much needed in our lives. That we have so much going on in our lives. How nice it is to open those doors and have those sacred interruptions, thereby enabling us to actually have deeper, meaningful relationships with ourselves and the divine. So this is one of the deepest purposes of uh, having uh, these festivals. Now, many of you know, I have shared a story of this saintly Brahmana. Brahmana means someone who's a seeker of the truth, someone who follows the rules and regulations very strictly and rigidly in pursuit of something beyond matter, something transcendental. So I've told you the story of this Brahmana. The Sanskrit word is Brahmana. And his name was Ajamil. He was born in a very pious family, but then he had some bad association and he completely lost track. He started to commit every single abominable crime there was. But he named his son Narayan, which was the sound vibration that elevates one to the highest realm. Just the word Narayan. But what was very interesting is that he went down to the depths and he just spent most of his time with prostitutes. It's really in a very, very dark space. And it was the end of his life. What happened was he happened to go to a festival, not intentionally. He wanted to go to the festival because he needed more money. He was thinking somebody to rob. His intention wasn't spiritual. He wanted to go and rob some people. And at that event, what's happening was this ecstatic kirtan. Kirtan is beautiful chants of hymns and prayers of divine connection. And he started to hear this kirtan, and his heart just completely transformed and changed. His personality reverted back. You know, they have reverse aging. So they have reverse spiritual aging. If you were a spiritual person at one point, but for some reason you aged, you can reverse age through festivals. It's a means of reverse aging spiritually. So this is what happened just by going to one festival. Not even with the right intention. He had not such great intentions, because to rob and to steal, to give to more prostitutes. But the result was great. What was the result? He experienced material detoxification. Our material life, we may or may not always fully understand, but it can be a little toxic because we get soaked and zapped and completely entrenched into material life. We spend 25 years in school studying something so that we can work for someone, so that we can get something in return. And with that something, we want to expand our family to take care of more things. And eventually, our things including our body, starts to decay and become some sort of a liability, and things start to malfunction. So these are some of the symptoms, because the material attachments, because the ambitions and hankering and dissatisfaction is the very nature of material entanglement. So through festivals, we go through a process of material detoxification. You start to detach from matter. You start to realize that all this wealth that I have accumulated isn't going to go with me. And the children that I have worked so hard to raise and spend money and invest in them, they have moved on. I am no longer their priority. I give you a small story. It's a real story of something I observed and experienced in my own life. I live in Midtown Atlanta. I have an ashram here. I live with a group of boys. And right next door to us is this very posh, we're in a good part of town, let's put it this way, filled with parks all around. So right next to us, they have this posh condominium unit. And a lot of people live there. So there was this beautiful, short, frail, elderly woman. She used to walk with her cane and with a little bowl, and she would come every single day to have breakfast with us. She invited herself, and we allowed her in, and she would have breakfast with us. So every day she would eat, and she would fill up her little bowl. She would eat very little because she was very tiny, and she wouldn't speak much. She would fill up her bowl and eat a little bit, and she would leave. Every day she would come, never failed. And one day I wanted to ask her. I'm always curious about her because she would never talk. I didn't want to interrupt her peace. But this curiosity in me was like, I want to know who this person is. What brings her here? And this consistency that she has. So I asked her one day while she was eating, I said, ma'am, would you mind if I ask you a question? And her face just opened up and she smiled so heavy and so big and like one ear to the other. And she said, yes, thank you for speaking to me. And I was like, what? It's my pleasure to speak with you. And so I was speaking with her. She was telling me her life. I just wanted to sit with her and hear her story. That's all I wanted. So she started to tell me her life. And beautiful was her life. She is an incredible, renowned poet. An incredible, renowned poet. Very accomplished. Written books and all these things. And she had a happy husband and happy family. But her husband had passed away. And she had 2 kids. And both of these children were doctors just down the street from here in this private hospital, private university called Emory University. And they have an incredible hospital. And her son and her daughter was the head of the dermatology department, and her son was anesthesiologist, and they were materially accomplished. And they all live around in luxurious places. She was telling me all about her children. But then I said, why aren't they with you? Do you see them? Do you hear them? And then she starts to cry. And I thought I asked the wrong question. So I apologized and I said, please don't feel like you have to answer this question. She said, no, 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 I want to share with you. It's in my heart. It's very painful, but I want to share with you. So she shared a long story of how hard her and her husband worked to raise these children, to give them the best in their life, to pay hundreds and thousands of dollars for their medical school so they didn't have to have any debts. It's not a common phenomenon in the United States where your parents pay your school tuitions. You just get a loan and shackle yourself to pay for the rest of your life. That's the system. But these parents, they have spent hundreds and thousands of dollars to put their kids through school.
Hello.
And finally, what happened? When they all moved on, they graduated, they put her in this condo and they never come to see her. And so she just wanted to share that with someone. And when I heard the struggles and suffering of her pain, and this is exactly what I was thinking, how this material world, we want to help others, but in all reality, it is a place where we make deeper and deeper inroads into our material attachments. And then they become very, very painful in our lives. And that's what she was sharing with me, the pain and struggles of material attachments. So, what these festivals do is that it helps to reset our values in life because you get to pause. You get to really think, what is it that I'm living for? What is life meant to be? What is the purpose of life? So when we go through this process, what happens is there is a realignment that happens in our lives. So festivals are a way that you naturally realign yourself with your purpose in life. And why is that? Because these festivals, the spiritual festivals, they are done at a sacred time. And you'll notice there's a unique astrological calculations and very cyclical, I think they call it. And what that happens because of these unique sacred times, the sacred portals open up for us to access our divine nature and through which we can connect face to face with divine beings. And for some people, you go to certain festivals, you will actually connect with God. Like I give you an example of my life. I go to many, many festivals. And especially when I go to Vrindavan and Rishikesh every year, I really feel that I get seen. I feel heard. I feel valued. Because when we're going to these places, what is happening in those places, those are festivals. The portals have opened up. And you really, really get to personally connect. And big parts of our lives, they start to crack open. I know, like when we go to Vrindavan, for example, when we go and sit on the bank of Radha Kund, many people, they just sit there and they just cry. It's not they're just crying because it's just an emotional experience. It's because our very nature, very being starts to melt away and you just become very soft. You don't even understand why all of a sudden you're just soft. You're so vulnerable. And this is what happens because our heart doors start to crack open. And what happens when things crack open? There is an expression that happens. We start to sing, we start to dance. If you look at some of the videos on the bank of Ganga or on the bank of Radhakund in Vrindavan, we're dancing and singing. I remember watching an expression of Durga Devi dancing. I always feel like she goes into a different plane of existence because she's gone. She smiles ear to ear and she's just twirling around and dancing. And those are just natural expressions of being in a place of spiritual festival. Because your ego dissolves and your true self is feeling a reciprocal connection with the divine. And that's the uniqueness of festivals. I want to tell you a small story about this. Are you okay if I tell you a story? This is a story of this great saint. His name is Raghunath Das Goswami. He's one of the 6 sages of Vrindavan. He was born in extreme wealth. It was just before the British era. So much wealth that it describes in his biography, when you do the calculations in terms of gold coins and diamonds and jewels, that's how they used to trade. Those were the currencies of the past. It would show that he was a multi-billionaire in today's calculations. And what happened in his life was he saw a group of saints at a festival. And the joy that he observed in their faces, in their being, it completely struck him so hard in his heart that he could never forget. And all he wanted to do was to be with the sages and to be with the saints that he saw. So he approaches the saints and he said, "Can I please join you?" And the sages were like, "No, this is not the time for you. You need to go and live your life." And imagine this great saint, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, pushing him away. He says, "Go home. Go live your wealthy life. Go live your lavish life. And the time will come. And the right time will come when you'll be ready for this." So this is one festival, right? He goes to, immediately wants to completely transform and change because he just wants to live that life. Fast forward 10 years. He's living his lavish life. He forgets, he forgets things and he moves on. Then very randomly, a group of sages were traveling from West Bengal to northern India to go to Vrindavan. They used to go on pilgrimages, but they used to walk, they used to go on foot. It will take about a few months. So they were walking and they happened to go through his town. And he was known as like the rich man of the town. So this sage, Nityananda, he saw Raghunath at a distance, this rich man. And he immediately called him. And as soon as Raghunath came to see sage Nityananda, this great saint, his heart just immediately melted and he immediately bowed down in deep respect to this great saint. And the great saint, such lovingly and affectionately, said, "Raghunath, you are a thief. You have taken all this wealth and you're enjoying this wealth. So I'm going to punish you for being a thief. And Raghunath, with his folded hands, oh, my dear saint, please punish me. He said, your punishment is that you must now feed all these thousands of sages traveling through your town. And he was so happy to be given this punishment. So he immediately ordered all his people, they had lots of people, he ordered all his people to please gather all the fruits and all the milk products and all the chip rice in the whole town. And they immediately arranged a massive festival, Utsav. And that Utsav is called Pani Hatti Utsav, the ever-flowing nectarian love of spiritual emotions. That is what the festival is named. And so he arranged to feed thousands of sages. And when he was in the middle of all the sages serving each and every one, his heart again completely transformed. One festival, one experience, heart completely transformed. One festival. What did he do? He told the saints, I'm coming. There's no more. I'm done with the material world. And he ran. He bolted in the middle of the night. He bolted, and his father sent soldiers to capture him. And he hid, and he bolted, and he ran and ran and ran and ran 7 days and 7 nights. His desire to be with the sages was so intense. It explains his journey, 7 days and 7 nights. His hunger to experience that spiritual love, the emotion of spiritual ecstasy, what these festivals bring. That he ended up in a place called Jagannath Puri. And when he finally went there, he got to meet the first saint, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And immediately his heart was just completely overflowing with love and devotion. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced him. And he said, I have been waiting for this day, for you to come and live this life of expressions of transcendental emotions of bhakti, and living your life from the sacred space of love. This is the story of a festival. You go to one festival, all this kind of miracles happen, and you're just completely swallowed by the emotions of spiritual love. So this is another festival of these great saints where you just attend once and your life completely changes. And there are many, many festivals, like for example, Deepavali, most of you know. It is a festival of lights. What is this festival of lights? It is the day when Ramachandra, he destroys this evil king and he comes back victorious with an army of monkeys into this kingdom of Ayodhya. And what happens on that day is that everyone who celebrates this Ram Navami festival, the festival of lights, they all are naturally returning back to their hearts. On that day, when you celebrate that festival, it doesn't matter what is going on in your life, what troubles and what traumas and what issues you're going through, where you are in your headspace, in your intellectual space, on your physical space. On that day, if you celebrate that festival of lights, energetically you will be forced by divine intervention to enter back into your heart. So these are significance of spiritual festivals, because there is a constellation. And there are many such festivals. I will keep sending you links to your groups so you can see the festivals and how to celebrate them and what the significance are. Like, for example, another festival that some of you went to India with me, we played this festival called Holi. It's not Holy, it's Holi. Holi. And this is an incredible festival. It's a festival of colors. And thousands of people, about 1 billion people celebrate this festival in India. It is a day when everybody loses all identities and become one identity. It is, you realize that we are all one being in loving service to one another and to God. And that is what this holy festival is. Like next year, I'm doing a tour to India, to Vrindavan, to celebrate this color festival, because that's where it all began, in March. And one of the reasons for that is because you get to experience what it is when your heart calls you to come back home. And you become completely devoid of any discriminations whatsoever. And that festival happened, while it was happening in Vrindavan, there was this hunchback lady named Kubja. And she had envy in her heart because she was so hunchback, she couldn't look up. And she was envious of people having fun and celebrating this life. They were all in their hearts, they were celebrating. But she was not in her heart. She was in her head because she was envious of others. And what happened? Krishna, who was also celebrating this holy festival, he noticed her. And he went and he embraced her. As soon as he embraces her, because of his mystical powers, she's no longer hunchback. And the envy that she carried in her heart just immediately disappeared. And she was able to return back to the heart. And this is why these festivals are so important. They have such deep spiritual significance. This one great saint, he wrote this unique spiritual text called Hari Bhakti Vilas. It means the expressions of transcendental emotion of love. This book, right? And there he uses, I like to tell you this Sanskrit word. It's so beautiful. It's called Utsava, means a festival. Prema means the ultimate expression of love. And Pravaha. Pravaha means something that carries and flows. So festivals, he explains, is the flowing current of divine love. That's what a festival is. So when you go to a festival, you are going to be picked up by the current of divine love, and you're just going to flow. And when you're flowing in that current of divine love, the veils between you and God is completely removed. You are floating in the embrace of God's arms. How beautiful is that, right? And this is what a festival is. How are we doing with time? I have 15 minutes. Should I tell you one more story? And then who wants to hear one more story? If you give me a thumbs up, we'll have another story. Otherwise, we'll recap. Okay, cool. This is a story you'll find in one of the Puranas. This is a story of a robber. And his name is Ratnakar. Ratna means jewels. Hand of jewels was his name when he translated into English. So he lived a life of robbing people and desecrating any sacred places. What a life, huh? Desecrating sacred places. Because he wanted to know if God really exists, let him show me that he exists. Let him show me that, you know, you know, prove himself to me. So he would go and desecrate all holy places to see if God will even show up. And he would steal from the pilgrims. So he would go to all the festivals. That's why if you go to festivals, you will know there's a lot of people that pickpockets, right? In India, it's pretty common. So we always tell each other, hold your bags closed, you know? So this guy would go to festivals and try and rob people and desecrate all sacred places, just trying to see if anybody will catch him. And if there is God, let him stop me. Let me show his powers to me. So this was his mood, Ratnakar. So he spent his whole life doing like this, robbing people, taking from people, and just desecrating, peeing and pooping and just destroying sacred places. Whenever I think of such people, I'm like, what kind of a mindset is this? But think of his mindset, you know. He just wants to see someone prove something wrong to him, you know. So one day, this Ratnakar goes to a special festival. It is a festival where they worship the holy rivers. Just like when we go to India, every day we go to Ganga Puja. They worship Ganga Devi, the goddess of love in liquid form. They worship Ganga. So this was in southern part of India, so they worship this other sacred river called Narmada. There's 7 holy rivers in India. 6, and Narmada is one of them. So on this festival day, all the people, thousands and thousands of people, are lighting lamps. And they light lamps and they offer that lamp into this sacred river. And they chant and do kirtans and chant Sanskrit hymns and prayers. It's such a beautiful festive mood. The whole energy, the whole ambience, the whole atmosphere gets lifted off. And everyone that attends this festival has the most transformative spiritual experience. But not Ratnakar. Ratnakar doesn't have any of those things. He blocks it out. Let me see God's powers. So what happens? He's going to this festival to steal. And something happens in his heart because the vortex is opening up. He's being swallowed by this love. And something soft happens in his heart. And he starts to cry. And he starts to tear up. He doesn't understand why he's having these emotions. This river is calling him, because rivers are mothers. This divine mother is calling him closer and closer. And in his macho man, he's walking down to the river. And he picks up one of the lamps floating in the river. And he holds this lamp in his hands with tear-filled eyes. He says, "My dear divine mother, whoever you are, I have no idea. I don't know what you're doing with me, but something's happening inside of me. And I'm here to offer my heart to you. And I please beg you to forgive me for all this lifetime of unrelenting acts of desecration of sacred places, and hurting and robbing people of their purity and of their emotions, of their peace. He starts begging for forgiveness. And then he disappears into the forest. So, what happened? Ratnakar, such a hard-hearted person, he goes to this event, he feels this transformation, and then he goes into the forest and he starts to meditating and completely transforms himself, where he becomes a sage, and his name becomes Deepa. Deepa means the lamp. Muni, the lamp sage. And he dedicates his life to educating people about forgiveness, about surrender, and about loving God and being union with the divine and serving the divine. So this is what happens. Just one festival. Such a hard-hearted person. Life can change. So this is what festival is. It is when the heart is carrying the soul to the land of love. And this is what we understand and learn in Bhakti, the practice of festivals. So very soon, we're going to have many festivals in Atlanta. We have festivals coming up, 3-day festival. There will be thousands of people. I'm hosting them and I'm going to serve them. And then the next weekend, I'm going to New York to attend this chariot festival. So for those of you who are in New England, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut area, join me. We'll just go one day on a Saturday. Go to this incredible festival. We'll chant and dance and eat and smile and just love everyone and see what it feels to enter into a spiritual energy vortex. If you want to lose yourself, please join us. If you want to find your divine self, please join us. It's going to be second weekend in June. So this is what's been in my heart, because organizing this festival, just thinking of how to serve and how to feed, how to host, how to entertain, how to make sure we're spending like $12,000 in making sure they have trailer showers and toilets for everyone. Because it is about service. It is about giving everybody an opportunity to have that divine experience. So thank you very much for joining us on this call. We have 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Anybody wants to share reflections?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I want you to meet my beautiful friend Varsha she came from Mumbai. Namaskar. She
Namaste.
here.
Thank you for joining.
नमस्कार बहुत अच्छा लगा आपको सुन के
Thank you. मुझे भी अच्छा लगा.
हाँ लक्ष्मी ने बताया कि आपका आज है प्रवचन तो बोला चलो हम सुनते हैं तो मैं बोला जरूर सुनेंगे
Thank you. Thank you. She's speaking to you in very fluent Hindi, and my Hindi is not that great.
अच्छा
I'm practicing my Hindi is by going to India every year.
ओके हरे
Thank you.
कृष्णा प्रभु
Krishna. Okay. Any other reflections anybody wants to share? Who has been to a festival? Raise your hand. Who hasn't been to a festival? Raise your hand. Latanya, this is your turn. Dana, Latanya, we're going to New York.
You said the 14th, right? That's the second one.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll reach out to Hara.
last year we took the train in the morning and just came back at night, so it was a lot of fun.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
come
you.
with us.
Let's see if I can do it.
It wasn't just a train, it was the Bhatki train. And Veda rode with us, and we danced and sang in the aisles, and it was wonderful and beautiful. So please join us. Fly to Connecticut if you want to join the train. Hope to see many of you there.
One of the people, when we were walking away from the train station, one of the people approached me. He said, what are you guys on? Like, what are you guys smoking? Like, what are you guys drinking, you know? I said, we drink this potion of love. He goes, can I have some? He says, join us and we'll share some with you, you know? So this is what bhakti is. So thank you. Thank you all very much. You have any announcements, Keshavi or Nitai?
She was asking where to join in Atlanta.
Oh, Shiva, you got to message me. I'll give you all the details. You get to come and chant and dance and eat some good food and hang out with some amazing people and just a lot of fun. Do you have my number, Shiva? Okay.
No, I don't have your number.
Are you in the WhatsApp groups?
I'm a little bit behind on like technology, so I'm trying to join, but I don't know where exactly to join.
Okay, you come and see us at 1315 South Ponce de Leon Avenue, 7 p.m. on Thursday, and then we'll give you the full schedule for the weekend.
Okay, I could do that.
Be ready to levitate, because we levitate a lot. We just we disappear from this zone. Okay. Anything else from you, Keshavi?
We have some spots left in our Catskills retreat. I've been away for a couple weeks, so I haven't been able to share it. But yeah, we still have some spots left if anybody wants to join us there. We'll be talking about Dharma. And yeah, I'm excited to see everybody in New York. We're gonna do a little kirtan in the park too.
We're not gonna do a little kirtan. We're gonna make New York get off their feet. Okay, Nitai, anything from you?
Yeah, I'm sharing the links for all the retreats and the social media links as well, where we will be sharing a lot of meditations that we have recorded already, meditations and stories on these social media channels. So please follow and add your comment. It helps fine-tune those, what do you call it, sharings.
Algorithms?
Sure. So the links are in the chat.
Nitai, Nitai is the one that does all the work, and the poor guy, you know. He makes all the videos and he edits them and he writes this beautiful messages. So yes, support Nitai. Thank you all very much. It is now, oh, we have 1 minute left, but thank you, Nitai. Thank you, Keshavi. Yes, please see us. Join us wherever you are. And we're also coming to you. We're coming to Netherlands. We're coming to Amsterdam. We're coming to Belgium. We're coming to Bulgaria. We're going to Italy. We're going to be going to India, going all over the place. Thank you all so much, beautiful souls. Please have a wonderful weekend. Those of you in Europe,